showroom. Hopefully that you have the chance to come in after all of this quarantine lockdown is over. And hopefully we get you into one of our live classes because they are so much fun. And then that way you'll actually be able to eat all this delicious food we're about to cook. And then hopefully you'll be even more excited about your appliances. But you know what? Today, the goal is to talk about all of the appliances, use and care. So we're going to go through all the different modes of the oven so that you know what they're used for. We're going to go through a couple things on the range tops, cooktops, and we're going to talk a little bit about our steam oven. So we're kind of going to get all the way in with all of the appliances. And we are being very specific today, talking about Thanksgiving for you guys, because I mean, it's the most important day of the year. And we want to make sure that you're prepared with your appliances, but for actual Thanksgiving. So if you have questions during the virtual class, we ask that you type them in the little chat box. We have Abby behind the screen who's going to be keeping up with those questions, and she'll shout them out to me so I can answer them. Comments as well, anything you have, type it in the box, and then we will answer them that way. I think that covers everything, and now we can go ahead and get started and jump right in, you guys. Okay, so first things first, we are going to talk about the most important part of Thanksgiving, the turkey. And I already know that we are going to have so many questions on how to prepare your turkey. That's usually my number one Thanksgiving asked question because it's the most important piece. It is the centerpiece, and you want to make sure that turkey actually tastes good versus the usual dry, flavorless, bleh. No, that's what we want. We want a delicious, juicy, golden brown, crispy skinned turkey. And I'm going to show you guys how we can do that. So what I've done here, I'm going to tell you what I've done here. I'm not going to get too deep into the process because I actually have done a YouTube video for Roth talking about the turkey. I also am doing, after this class, today at 2 p.m., a virtual Thanksgiving Q&A. So if you have really technical questions regarding cooking or preparing the turkey, preparing any of the other foods that you'll see today, then we would love to have you jump on that Q&A session because we're going to get really in the weeds during that one. For this class, I'm going to focus more on the appliances and how to use them and cook with them, okay? So turkey, we prepared it, salted it with a dry brine 2 days ago. So it's going to be super flavorful. The skin has had time to really, really dry out, which is going to give us the most crispy end product, okay? Because wetness is the enemy to crispy. And then I've got a beautiful citrus herby compound butter that I've smeared all over this beautiful turkey, okay? So that's the prep. I've got it in a rack set in a roasting pan. So we're going to keep the turkey above the juices. And then we are going to actually add just a little bit, probably like half a cup to a cup of water on the bottom of the roasting tray. That just prevents any of those drippings from burning as we're cooking the turkey. So you can use that delicious flavored turkey juice at the end to add to your gravy. Okay, so that's what we've done there. Oh, I got a little smear of butter to go wash my hands. We've got here a 14, 15 pound turkey. So this is usually my favorite size of a turkey, especially this year without having our massive Thanksgiving groups. This year, I think we're all having smaller groups together. And so in my professional opinion, between 10 and 15 pounds is your ideal turkey size to get the best end product, okay? So that's what I've got here. I've stuffed it with a bunch of herbs. We've tied the legs together, tucked the wings in, and now we're gonna cook it. For the best roast turkey, the steam oven is what you wanna use, you guys. It is going to change your life. It's gonna give you the very best roast turkey you've ever done. It's super fast, and it is going to give us that brown skin, crispy exterior with the moist meat. Even the white meat tastes delicious cooked in the steam oven. So there are a couple things we do to get this going. Turkey is ready. We're gonna use our steam oven. Before we put it in, we're gonna use the probe thermometer. Now, I pulled out 2 probes because for those of you out there that have a steam oven and an electric oven, like one of the wall ovens or the range, that also comes with probes. The steam oven and regular ovens don't mix and match. The blue probe goes with the convection ovens. The black probe goes with your steam oven. They do not interchange, okay? So we've got our black probe for the steam oven, and you're going to insert the long skinny end into what I like to do is the breast, thickest part, and I'm gonna go in at an angle so that this tip ends up down pretty much in the middle of that meat. And you wanna make sure the whole thing is covered, okay? So I'm going in, don't let it touch any bones, but I can feel that is like right there deep in the center. And that is what I want. The probe is gonna tell us when the white meat has reached the proper internal temperature, okay? So probe is in, and now we're putting it in our steam oven unpreheated. Magical. We wanna use that preheat time to help start off the beautiful browning process. And by doing this, we're going to cut down on a lot of our time. I don't have to wait for a preheat. I'm just gonna get this thing in and cooking. So probe goes in, it inserts on the side. Are we zoomed in? I wanna make sure that they can see this. So probe is in all the way. Make sure you insert that probe all the way in. And you wanna, well, just in case you didn't notice, your probe, a lot of people don't see because it's kind of hidden. There's a little flap on the side of your oven, flick that open, probe goes in, okay? Close up your oven. Oh, just in case you didn't notice, I've got the rack down on rack position 1, just giving the turkey a little more space above for that air to circulate, okay? So now we are going to select the proper mode. So here at the home screen, any button will turn your oven on. We are at that quick start home screen, and you are going to use the Convection Steam Mode. This is my mode for, it's like my magical mode. Crisping the outside, keeping the interior moist, which is exactly what we want with a turkey. So intermittently throughout this cooking process, we will get bursts of steam as well as a higher heat. And that steam is going to protect the inside as well as giving you that extra browned, crispy exterior, okay? So here, we're now going to adjust the temperature. We've got a 15-pound bird, so we can actually increase the temperature higher than you normally would. I'm going 375. We're gonna hit enter, and then we're gonna use the arrow to the left, which says set food probe temp. This is how we set the internal temperature. Hit enter again, and now we're setting that internal temperature to 155 degrees. You're gonna hit enter, and now we're gonna go ahead and start the operation. So with that, the reason that we are doing 155 degrees internal temperature is because we're going to let our turkey rest for an hour after it is done. We need that resting time for that hot juices inside the turkey to start to cool down, and everything will kind of start to come back together, and that rest time creates what we call carryover cooking, which brings the internal temperature up about 10, 12 degrees. So you'll end up with that perfectly cooked white meat. It is not dry and chalky and tasteless. It's gonna be beautifully moist and flavorful, okay? That is how we do our turkey. I don't have to think about it, I don't have to worry. We have, oh, this is the only thing you need to worry. If none of you have ever cooked your turkey in a steam oven before, all you need to know is where you're usually like stressing and it's the last thing that's done and everyone's sitting at the Thanksgiving table waiting for the turkey to be done. Well, guess what? The turkey's gonna be done in like 45 minutes, an hour and a half for this size of a turkey. It cooks in like a third of the time. It's crazy, and it might freak you out. Like if you have a turkey breast, it's 10 pounds, that'll be done in 45 minutes. Don't panic. That is totally cooked through. Okay, so this will be faster, be aware. All right, now I'm done talking turkey, I'm done talking steam oven. There are a lot of things to know about the steam oven, like a lot. I'm sure those who have the steam oven out there are like, wait, we need more. Luckily, we have a steam oven class, which hopefully most of you have already been to or taken, or you joined us on the virtual steam oven class last week. If you haven't, we actually have it also up on the Roth Living YouTube channel. And so you can actually go in, and that steam oven class will go into depth about everything you need to know for your steam oven. All the different modes, how to take care of it, how to cook with it, etc. Today we have all these other appliances to get to, so we're not gonna spend much more time on that steam oven. I just wanted to show you guys how we cook our turkey, okay? Any questions, Ab? Are we looking good? Okay, so again, if you guys have questions, please feel free to type them in the chat box. I'm so happy to answer them. I want this to be a back and forth. I want you to feel like you're being heard and your questions are all answered. And at the end of this class, you feel very confident in your appliances. Okay, enough of that lecture. Now we're gonna move on to the next item of business, my other favorite piece of Thanksgiving, the pie. Now, what we've got here is our beautiful chocolate pie shell. So I finished baking this a little bit earlier today. What I did is it's basically a chocolate pastry crust, and then I blind baked it, which means you put like pie weights in it and you bake it so that the bottom sets. You can see how beautiful and flat that is, so you don't get any bubbling. And then I brushed it with an egg wash, took the pie weights out, brushed it with an egg wash, baked it for another 5 to 10 minutes just to set that bottom. And now this is ready for our filling. So we have a really fun pumpkin pie that we're doing. We're not doing your typical classic pumpkin pie. We are making a chocolate crust. We have a maple pumpkin filling that has a little bit of sour cream for a nice little tang. It has a caramelized maple syrup and vanilla bean. Like, this is so, so yum. If you guys are into pumpkin pie, this needs to be your pumpkin pie this year. If you're not into pumpkin pie, you need to try this and give it another shot, okay? So the filling is done. It's our pumpkin custard. I am going to pour it into our beautiful crust. I wish we had a camera that was like here, because watching this go in, what a joy. All right, that is gorgeous. It is full. Thank you very much. And we've got our pie set now, and we're gonna cook it in our M series oven, okay? So pumpkin custard pie. If you're doing a double crust, like an apple pie, again, this M series, what I'm showing you is the gourmet function, and it does such a good job of showing you how, and actually just baking your pie, okay? So what we've got here, we're using our M series oven. For those of you out there who have your ovens, you're probably like, what does M series mean? My bad. There are 2 different types of ovens that Wolf makes. Actually, we're gonna have to preheat this first. We have an M series and an E series. If you have the dual fuel range, your oven is an E series oven, okay? So those 2 different styles of ovens I'm gonna talk about, but they have very similar functions. They have mostly all the same modes and cook the same way. So as I talk about the different modes, it will work for both ovens, not just one or the other. This first one I'm talking about, the gourmet mode, only pertains to the M series oven. Okay, so those with the M series, you have a gourmet function and setting. That is for you guys. I will talk for you E series owners out there or range owners out there. I'll talk to you about how to do your pie as well. Okay, so first things first, I want to show you, we're going to zoom in again so I can show you this gourmet function. Okay, we are going to use, and you may not have the knobs, you may have the more sleek all touch screen, but we have the knobs here. So I'm just going to turn this to the gourmet setting. And from there, it comes up with all these different foods. Like, are you cooking meat or vegetables or fish or pizza? Well, we're doing baked goods, okay? From there, is it cookies, cake, pie, bread? I think we all know what we're doing here. It's pie. And from there, is it a single crust or a double crust? Because yes, you will cook these very differently. So we have got a single crust here. You hit done. Now the oven will tell you exactly what to do and how it's going to do it. You don't have to worry at all, okay? It is going to wait for the preheat before inserting your food. Key step, okay, it's gonna tell you which rack position. Here it says rack position 3. I've got our rack set up on rack position 3. Sorry, you can't see that with your camera, but trust me, okay? And then it tells you it's going to select the mode bake at 375 degrees. Okay, I'm gonna hit start. So I'm waiting for this to preheat. It'll actually preheat real quick because I did have to par bake my crust earlier. So I got that done. I turned the oven off so I could show you guys this process, but I will be preheated in approximately 2 minutes, okay? In the meantime, I'm gonna tell you guys how and what's going on with that certain mode. So what the gourmet did is it did all the thinking for you. You don't have to worry, you don't have to wonder or question. This will tell you exactly how to bake. Like I showed you, it has all these other options. If you have a double crust pie, this is going to select a different style, different modes and different temperatures to get the perfect end product. okay? So this selected bake at 375. If you have your E-Series oven or your dual fuel range, then you would select bake at 375. So that's the same thing. The M series is just doing the thinking for you, and it does cook a little bit hotter and more powerfully, so it might be done a little bit quicker, okay? Okay, so that's the bake mode. Now there's also, this is now a mode I'm going to talk about that pertains only to the E-Series and the dual fuel owners. You have the bake mode, and what's happening is most of the heat is coming from the bottom. You'll get some from the top as well. That's like your traditional standard oven mode. Like if you were following a recipe, bake at 350, like that's what every oven does. Most of the temperature comes from the bottom, you get some from the top, okay? So that's what bake is doing. Great for any one tray or one rack of baking something. Cookies, cakes, pies, one tray, the bake mode. It's your safety backup. If you're wondering which modes to use, that's the mode that's gonna be most like other modes. Gorgeous, okay? So we'll talk about what she just pulled out later. So then below that on your E-Series, we have a convection bake mode that has the little fan with the bake. On the dual fuel, the convection modes are the black with the silver writing. Unfortunately, I can't get the camera over here, but if you have the range, you know what I'm talking about. It's black with silver writing, and then the other side is silver with black writing. All of the convection modes are that black with silver writing. So there's a convection bake mode on the E-Series range as well. That mode, what's happening is you're getting most, again, of the heat from the bottom, some from the top. But we're adding in convection fans, which is going to give you a more aggressive, powerful cooking environment. So when you're using convection bake, that mode, sorry, I was just checking on my preheating, still going. That mode is really only good for one thing. And this is why I really want to hit this point home for those of you out there. Hopefully we have a few out there with the range or the E-Series oven, because this is important and I want you to listen, okay? The convection bake mode, a little more powerful of a bake. Again, most of the heat from the bottom, some from the top, kicking in heat from the back, fans. That is only good for a double crust pie. That's the only thing we really bake on convection bake. Because if you think about it, with a double crust pie, you want to really cook that bottom crust quickly before the top crust over browns. And so with that extra heat coming from the back and most of that heat from the bottom, you're gonna get that effect. It is the pie mode. Convection bake, pie mode. In our M series oven, just use the Gourmet because it has the perfect setup for doing a double crust pie, okay? Those are the two modes I really wanted to hit home for you guys so that's fully understood. Our oven is preheated. I'm gonna throw in my pie very carefully. Since we've poured the custard, I don't want it to jiggle out of its crust shell, and I can let that go. Okay, so that's gonna take about 50 minutes-ish, maybe 45. I'll check on it. We just wanna make sure that what you've got is a set filling with just a little bit of a jiggle. Okay, so I'll be watching that and I'll pull it out. Hopefully you'll be able to see that when I pull it out. Okay, so that's the baking convection bake mode on all the ovens. Still good? Okay, no questions there? Good class. All right, the next mode on the oven that we're gonna talk about is the roast mode. And I'm gonna kind of quickly go through the roast, the broils, and then we can get on to our next food item. So the roast mode is basically just the opposite of the bake mode. Most of the heat on the roast comes from the top and you get some from the bottom. So it's just the bake mode flipped on its head. So the best things to cook on the roast mode are roasts. Just it's bigger, slow cuts of meat. And by that I mean those cuts of meat that have a lot more fat and connective tissue and they need more time in the oven to break down and become very tender, fall apart, unctuous, and delicious. So that roast is gonna give us that more browned exterior before the inside overcooks. Because again, we want it to happen low and slow. So the roast is great for those bigger cuts of meat with more fat and connective tissue that you wanna cook down, okay? Now there's the convection roast mode. Both of those modes are on our M series as well. So all three of the ovens have these modes. The convection roast is just similar to the convection bake, the same. Most of the heat from the top, some from the bottom, but we're kicking on the convection. So what that mode really excels at are those more lean, quick cooking cuts of meat. So something like a beef tenderloin that you want to get really browned, really nice and browned without letting the inside get overcooked. Because a beef tenderloin past to medium rare, you've just ruined it. You can't have that. And it's a beautiful, expensive cut of meat, great for celebrations like Christmas around the corner, or I mean, do it for Thanksgiving if you don't like turkey. It's great. But you want to cook it with a fully browned crust. You want the inside to stay medium rare. So you could use your probe thermometer, make sure it's inserted all the way to the center, set it to 125 degrees, and then you want your oven at a blasting convection roast 450 degrees to get that beautiful browned crust while the inside stays tender. So that's what convection roast really excels at, is really browning things without overcooking the inside. So like I said, beef tenderloin, those of you who like a roast chicken, it's great for roast chickens. If you don't have a steam oven, those out there who don't have a steam oven, cook your turkey on the convection roast setting. If you're going for it all in with a big 25-pound turkey, then change the mode to regular roast. Because like we've talked about, bigger cuts of meat need a little more time, so you don't want to over brown the top. Hopefully that wasn't confusing. I just gave you a lot of information there. Hopefully we're all good. Okay, so that's convection roast versus roast. And now I'm gonna talk about our stone mode. So who out there, oh, I asked, like you guys can answer. I hope all of you out there love pizza as much as I do. So pizza is my actual favorite food. Like if I had to pick one meal forever for the rest of my life, it would be pizza, followed by gelato. That is like it's your last meal on the planet, okay? So I am doing a Thanksgiving pizza. This probably looks funny. So I've got dough that I made 3 days ago on Monday. So it's gotten really nice and flavorful. It's really nice and soft. You guys can see I'm kind of slowly pulling it out of this baggie. So when I do my pizza doughs, like I said, I always like to do them at minimum 24 hours in advance. But if you can, 3 days is really the happiest point. I think you get the best texture and flavor. You can do up to 5 days too. But what I've done here is usually I separate it out into like 3 different little balls of dough, and I put it into deli containers and I let those rise. But since we've just got you're doing a big Thanksgiving meal here, so I am doing one giant pizza, and because of that, I did it in my Ziploc baggie. So I stuck this in the fridge so that it could, get nice and flavorful overnight. This dough feels like truly incredible. Soft, supple, he's ready to turn into something fabulous. So that's what I just did. 3 days ago, I made this dough, set it in a Ziploc baggie. I was making a big one, put it in my fridge. And I just came back today, pulled it out about 2 hours ago, so it had time to get to room temp, so that it will be nice and easy to manipulate without tearing any holes, and we can really stretch it, okay? So we are now that we've done the dough, that's like, one of the hardest parts, but cooking the pizza is so important. Cooking it right. What you want with a pizza, the style we're doing here is more like New York crossed with a Neapolitan style. So that's what this style of dough is, and I am using our stone mode. So all of our electric ovens have this stone mode. And what that is doing is it's going to basically create a brick oven effect in your oven without actually having a brick oven, which is really nice because we're gonna be able to get that pizza of crispy, beautiful crust on the bottom and keeping that nice dough, like I don't want to say doughy crust, but like a nice soft, supple crust. So you're gonna get that effect like of a brick oven that you can't really ever get at home unless you have the wonderful Wolf oven. Now, a few important things, and I'm just gonna let this dough keep stretching. You guys are lucky you get to watch this. In my opinion, this is one of the most enjoyable things to do in the kitchen, just slowly letting the dough become itself. You can see it stretching. You never wanna be too aggressive. I'm just using my knuckles so I don't poke a hole in it, and I'm just letting it kind of fall as it may, okay? It's looking So nice. What I'm going for is basically you can almost see your hand through, so it's nice and thin, but you don't want it to get so thin that you rip it, okay? So now I'm going through. Sorry, I got distracted by my dough, making sure it's all even everywhere, okay? And he looks absolutely gorgeous. So pizza dough is ready. We've got a nice, beautiful, probably about a 12 to 15 inch pie here. Now we're gonna build our pizza. Before I start building it, because things are gonna happens quick, I wanna talk about that stone mode. So like I said, you're gonna get most of the heat from the bottom and you're gonna get a lot of that convection fan. It's really gonna create a brick oven effect. But I'm only gonna allow you guys to use that stone mode if you have the Wolf bake stone. That mode is not meant to use any other stone, okay? So if you're like, this girl doesn't know what she's talking about, and you're like, I already have a stone at home, I've had it forever, and you put it in your oven and you use the stone mode because it's so powerful, that stone just might crack. It might not be able to handle the heat, literally. So you know what? You can do what you want to do. It's your house, your oven, your stone, but I don't recommend it because you could have issues. We've had people in the past use their own stones that just aren't strong enough to handle the heat, and so they have cracked or shattered, and you can imagine the mess that creates in your oven. It can break stuff. It's just not a good thing, okay? So you need the Wolf stone for the stone mode. Another important note. I will say you can order them online. We do have them in the showroom as well. So if you wanted to come into the showroom and buy one, like you're like, ooh, I love the idea of doing pizza on Thanksgiving, you can come in before Thanksgiving and purchase one here and then use that stone mode. If you don't want to buy our stone, totally fine. Use your stone you have, just don't use the stone mode. Just use the regular bake mode. That's what I would use, okay? All right, that was the important part I feel like we needed to talk about. Now, I'm sorry, the camera doesn't turn down, but we've got our stone in this E-Series oven. Yeah, there's no way they're gonna see. It's on the bottom rack. I don't wanna open this because I don't wanna lose my heat. So what I do is I put the stone in approximately an hour before I'm ready to cook. So for those of you who've ever made pizza at home, you know the key is hot, hot, hot. Again, we need it to cook hot and fast. That's like one of the keys to that beautiful pizza crust that we all know and love. So you're going to build your pizza on the peel. This comes with the stone, the Wolf stone. I should have mentioned that earlier. It comes with the peel, comes with the stone and the rack. And after we're done with this, maybe I'll pull it out and show you guys at the end, okay? But I'm going to build my beautiful pizza on the peel, because if you try to build it on the board and then get it on the peel and in the oven, well, you may have some issues, okay? So what I'm doing here, again, it's a Thanksgiving pizza. I've got a nice light layer of olive oil, just kind of helping. It's gonna help keep the base nice and moist, and it's gonna flavor it a little bit too. And then we're gonna throw down some beautifully caramelized cherry onions. So these have got a lot of flavor, a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of tang from that cherry vinegar. So I did this a little bit earlier. Caramelize these right on our stove. I want a nice, beautiful layer of onions here. And then, this is right now the showroom's favorite thing, crispy mushrooms. So these babies, we roasted and caramelized in our convection ovens a little bit earlier, so now we can throw them on our pizza, and they're gonna get even more crispy and flavorful and caramelized. Like, nothing says fall like caramelized onions and caramelized mushrooms, okay? So we've got the mushrooms on, and then we're just gonna finish off with, of course, some cheese. So I've got some fontina, which is a little bit more of a flavorful cheese than mozzarella, but it has that same ooey gooey melting ability. So that's what we are going for with the fontina, like a more flavorful mozzarella. And then, of course, the king of cheeses, Parmigiano Reggiano. So we've got that, and I'm putting it all over, making sure that it's nicely spread out. I'm leaving a nice little crust, but that is our pizza, okay? Thank you. So this is now going in the oven. I'm gonna make it happen fast. Okay, come on, little guy. You just kind of have to wiggle a little bit. And there he goes. He looks fantastic. So he's in the oven. Now, a couple other notes about pizza. I'm sorry I'm spending so much time on pizza. It's just so important. Most important food group, okay? I had a magical fairy bring me the pizza oven. No, I'm calling it a pizza oven. The pizza stone. So this, you probably are like, wow, that looks dirty. No, this is good. This is just years of beautiful pizza making, beautiful cheese kind of getting burned on there. You don't really ever want this to look like it looks when you buy it. It's gonna build up a nice patina. So this stone, it is heavy. This is like 15, 16 pounds of a thick ceramic. So this is going to retain a lot of heat, and that's gonna help us get that brick oven effect where it soaks in the heat and it basically re-emanates it. So the oven feels more like 750 degrees versus your regular 550. That's what I set my oven at. Stone, 550, let it preheat for an hour with this guy in on the bottom rack, and then use your pizza peel to get that thing in. And you guys saw I opened the oven, I wiggled it off, made sure that the dough kind of came off nicely, and I closed the oven as fast as possible so as not to lose any of that precious, precious heat. Okay, so that is our stone mode. And for Thanksgiving, such a fun appetizer is a pizza. I'm telling you, it'll blow people's minds because who does that? Nobody. Okay, so that is stone mode. Pizza, I got to double check here. Usually I get questions about pizza, but, oh, we do have a question, yay.
So
for larger cuts of meat,
you could roast them on normal mode, or for a while to get the internal temp up, then turn the convection roast to brown the outside.
Okay, so the question was basically, you can roast those larger cuts of meat on like a more tender, like a tenderloin, it sounds like, on convection roast, or you can go low and slow on roast, and then finish with convection roast to get a browned crust. Very true. Whoever you are out there, who said that?
Brett Jordan.
Brett? Beautiful. You know about the reverse sear. That's exactly right. You can roast low and slow. So set your internal temperature to 125, set the oven temp to roast at like 250 degrees until you get that perfect internal temp, and then put the roast on a higher rack, like closer to the top, rack position 2 or 3, hit convection roast 500 degrees to finish up with that beautiful brown exterior. Very, very acute. Love it. Getting a little complicated. I like that. I like a little more complex. All right, so that was our question. Still no question on pizza. I guess you guys have got pizza figured out in your life. I'm gonna turn this light on, oven light, just so I can keep an eye, because this does cook fast. It smells so good already. I'm so excited. Okay, so I've got lights on all my ovens, just keeping track of everything. All right. So I will have to pull that pizza out. I'll probably be interrupted in the next 2-3 minutes. It cooks that fast, like 8 minutes, okay? But I wanted to finish talking about the modes on our electric ovens. So we've talked bake, convection bake, roast, convection roast. We've talked stone. Now there is a broil mode and a convection broil mode. The broil mode, for those out there who don't know what a broil is, I don't know how you've made it this far in life, but congratulations. It's all the heat from the top. So it's like fire, it's flame. It's basically like a grill flipped upside down in your house. Okay, so that is the mode that you can use to just really brown stuff. Like if you were roasting a vegetable, which we're about to get to actually, and it finished roasting, it was tender, it was done, but you didn't like how brown it was, you wanted it more caramelized, more crispy, you can turn your broiler on high, throw those under, and finish them up. You just gotta stay close because a broiler is powerful, okay? Our broiler, the Wolf broilers, have a high, medium, and a low mode, which is really, really nice for people who make garlic bread or for people who just forget about their ovens. You can turn that to a low or a medium so it doesn't burn like this, okay? On the electric E-series oven, 1 is high. Like if you're setting your broil, you'd hit broil, and then it will say 1 for high, hit 1, enter. 2 is medium, and 3 is low. The M-series, you just use the little knobbies, okay? There is also a convection broil. That can be used, really the main use for that function is it's all that heat from the top, but you're adding in the convection fans to get a little more intense heat. Like we've said, convection makes things just a little more aggressive. That's great for if you want to cook a thick cut of, I'll say protein. For instance, if you had a 2-inch thick ribeye and you wanted to do it under the broiler to get that beautiful crust, use the Convection Broil so that it cooks through fast enough before the top browns. A 2-inch thick piece of salmon, a 2-inch thick New York steak, 2-inch thick pork chop. Those sorts of big, thick, like steaks do great under that Convection Broil, okay? So those are the 2 broil modes. The last thing I always need to tell people is you're used to hitting broil and then leaving the oven open a crack. The Wolf ovens don't do that. The Wolf ovens, we broil with the door closed, okay? And watch it because it's fast, but it's so much more even than every other broiler you've ever used. Like you've got a full upper broiler versus like one strip of heat or going this way or this way. The whole top is gonna give you beautiful crisping browning. Okay, I love the broiler personally, but I like really browned foods. Okay, any questions on broil or Convection Broil? We're rolling right along, people, good job. Okay, so we talked about the stone mode. There are 2 other modes I wanna talk about on our oven before I jump to the Convection mode. These are like little fun accessory modes, I'll call them. We have a proof mode and a dehydrate mode. So the proof mode is there for those of you who bake bread, where you want your bread to double in size. The rising portion of the bread, that's what the proof mode is. It'll let you go between 85 and 110 degrees. So it's a small temperature zone because anything higher in your yeast will die. Anything lower and you may as well keep it on the counter. So it gives you that perfect proofing environment, happiest place for yeast to be, okay? You can also use that to soften butter, proof 85 degrees, soften butter quickly, or keep something nice and like slightly warm, okay? After that, we have our dehydrate mode, and the dehydrate mode is a really, really cool function where you can literally dehydrate fruit or food. I actually just worked with a client yesterday and I gave them some of our dehydrated apples that we've made in here. Wait, Abby's laughing. Do we have a comment?
She is fantastic.
Oh,
You could watch this whole thing.
whoever said that. Someone said something nice about me. Brett? So nice. Dehydrate, I'm getting distracted. Okay, dehydrate, you can literally make dehydrated apples or dehydrated strawberries or bananas or beef jerky. Like you can literally dehydrate food in your oven, which is so cool. So what that mode does is it's gonna hold the temperature between 135 degrees and 165 degrees. It's like that, not too hot, not too cold, and it's gonna kick on the convection fans. So it's gonna be that moving air. So it's gonna pull all the moisture out. Just a little bit longer. So it's gonna pull all the moisture out. During the dehydrate mode, you wanna keep the oven open a crack because, like I said, we're trying to dry everything out. So you wanna let any steam out. As the water evaporates from the food, it's gonna get out of the oven. So if you wanna use the dehydrate mode, we actually do sell another Dehydrate Kit. If you're wondering, like it comes with 3 special little racks. I'm gonna pull one out so you guys can see. So they have a much finer, what is this called? Grates? Mesh, much finer mesh so food won't fall through. So it comes with 3 of these and a little rubber stopper that will hold your oven slightly open. And then that dehydrate mode will hold that low temperature, 135 degrees, for hours and hours. I like to sprout my almonds, actually. I think it's really yummy, makes them really crunchy, and it's easier to digest, if you're wondering. So I will soak my almonds for like 2-3 days, and then dehydrate them on this overnight. So I'll set my oven at dehydrate, 140 degrees, and I just let it go and go and go overnight. And then I come back in the morning and it's great. Okay, so that's how the dehydrate mode works. It's fabulous. All right, now I gotta pull the pizza out, which is like perfect timing. I'm excited for you guys to see this. Okay, it looks like, honestly, looks and smells like heaven. Can we even talk about this? I don't want it to fall. That's gonna fall. You guys see that? Holy moly, smells heavenly. Yvonne's holding this giant cutting board and I just slid it right off. That was so fun. So that pizza, and literally like my mouth is watering. I'm so excited to eat it. But we're gonna top it with some spicy pickled Fresno chili peppers that I make in the showroom and keep always because me and Yvonne are addicted to like spicy, tangy things. and Abby, who also doesn't love spicy, but she loves these little Fresno peppers. So we're topping it with some Fresno peppers, a little lemon zest, which sounds weird, but I'm telling you, put lemon zest on your hot, fresh pizza, and your life will be changed. Oh, look, a little mushroom nugget fell off. Should I eat it? Oh, it's so crispy. Abby's so jealous. It's delicious. Okay, that's how we're gonna finish off our pizza. Still good, no questions? Okay, so the last mode we're gonna cover is actually, I must say, probably the most important mode, and that is our straight convection mode. Okay, so what we're doing today, it's very simple, no big deal, but we're doing roasted Brussels sprouts. Again, it's Thanksgiving, so we have to have Brussels sprouts, okay? So the convection mode, and I have to keep like checking. I have so many ovens, so I'm just like, okay, all is good, people. So we're using the convection mode in our range, which is right here. So it's gonna look like I'm like putting the Brussels sprouts into the abyss. It's in my range, okay? So I've got this preheated, because when I'm roasting vegetables, I want it really hot, and I want it, I want it really hot the whole time, because I need those to get as brown as possible without overcooking. So preheated convection at 450, very, very hot. Nobody has time in their life to try to roast vegetables at 350 degrees. We don't have time for that. It'll take way too long. We want hot and fast with these veggies, okay? So we're doing a fun Brussels sprout dish here. Not your usual boiled, nasty Brussels sprouts. We are gonna get them browned and caramelized and crispy, and then we're gonna toss them with a beautiful kind of agrodolce style glaze, which for those who don't know, agrodolce means it's like Italian for sweet sour, sour sweet, agrodolce. And what it is, it's a mixture of champagne vinegar and some sugar and some craisins that we've plumped up in that mixture. And we're gonna soak these Brussels after they're done cooking. We're gonna toss them all in so they get sweet, sour, crispy, caramelized, delicious. And then we're gonna serve them on a bed of whipped ricotta. How fun does that sound? Not your average Brussels sprout. Oh, and we're topping them with pine nuts, because who knows when too much is a good thing. I don't. Just keep more and more. All right, so I have now, I went really off about those Brussels sprouts for a bit there. Back to the cooking of convection. So the important part about this that we're showing is we're doing 2 racks. You can do 3, 4, however many in your oven. It has the ability to do up to 6, and it will cook all of those racks evenly. Because the convection mode, what's happening is all of the heat is now coming from the back to convection fans. So the heating elements that are directly in front of those fans, that's gonna heat the whole oven. And by doing that, we are going to get even top to bottom cooking. I have such dirty hands right now. Always have a towel at the ready. So from top to bottom, even cooking. So I'm never gonna have to come back and worry about rotating them up, down, anywhere in between. Just let them roll. They're gonna cook evenly, beautifully. And the other really cool part about the convection mode is it's gonna be hotter and faster. So it's gonna save us time. What is the most valuable, what's the word I'm looking for? What is the most valuable asset in our lives? It's time. One thing you just can't buy more of, you can now, convection. Speed things up. Steam oven, speed things up, okay? So we've got both our Brussels sprouts in the oven, same time, don't have to worry about rotating. And that convection, because we've got the moving air, all the heat from the back coming out evenly throughout the whole oven. And it's going to give us that moving air atmosphere, which actually penetrates food quicker and more easily. And that means cooking faster. So that's why if you guys with your convection ovens, or you've seen recipes or looked up, whatever it may be, you may hear that with convection, you want to decrease the time, approximately 25% from your written recipe or what you're used to, and decrease the temperature about 25 degrees. That's the really main key to remember with convection. 25-25 rule, okay? I say about 25%, watch it, it might need a little longer, but that's about how much faster convection will cook. So it's the even cooking, and it's the faster cooking. Any questions on our convection mode? That's my safety go-to mode. I don't really use my bake mode very much. I use the convection because I know how it cooks, and I like it to be a little hotter and faster. in everything in life, okay? So that's what's happening there. Again, all of our ovens have the convection mode. Whether you have your steam oven, whether you have the M series, the E series, or the range, all have that convection, beautiful, even cooking mode. All right, so now we've talked out all the ovens. Like there's pretty much nothing more to be said about the ovens. So we're gonna talk about the cooktop surface, okay? We're gonna have some fun here. So first things first, those who have the range, lighting in here is just not fabulous. I'm gonna see if I can get this. Well, yeah, that didn't really help much. Oh well. I just look really dark, but I'm here. Hey guys. Okay, so we're working on my griddle. So we looked out, Abby's trying to shine a phone flashlight on me, it's not working. We checked on everyone's what appliances they have. We have a few people with the griddle and with the range tops, but we have no one with the char. So we're not even gonna talk about the char burner. We're gonna talk about the griddle. This is one of the most important things to cover. I bet we have people out there, they're like, this is what I'm here for, is the griddle, okay? You didn't know you were here for the stone mode. That's what I'm here for, griddle talk. So for those of you with the griddle, if you have already seasoned it, great, good job, congratulations. For those who haven't, I'm gonna walk you through how to season it. Your griddle is thick, cold rolled steel. This is like the closest you can get to industry level without having a commercial range. And it is the most even, beautiful, it's my favorite. This is my favorite thing to cook with. I think this might win over the steam oven. Those are my two favorites. Don't tell the other kids, okay? But this is our most even, beautiful heating surface. And over time, you're gonna build up those layers of seasoning, that patina. And so it's gonna get better and better and better. And also, you don't really have to clean it. So of course, I love it even more. So the first time you use it, and while actually no, I'm gonna get distracted with food. First time you season it, you are going to turn it on, take the lid, take the cover off, turn it on with your ventilation on, just because it's gonna probably get a little stinky. And you're gonna turn this on at 400 degrees, approximately, 375, 400. Just let it cook. Don't put anything on it. You're just gonna burn off that protective coating that's on the top of the griddle. Wait about 20 minutes. You'll actually see some discoloration. You'll see it start to change. And that's that protective coating saying goodbye. And now we're gonna start seasoning it. For those of you with cast iron skillets out there, you know what I'm talking about. For those who don't have cast iron skillets, let me explain. Seasoning is layers and layers of fat, or in other words, oil, that we're going to basically cook into the surface. And that is what gives you, over time, a more nonstick surface and a more flavored surface. So you're gonna use a high smoke point neutral oil, like a peanut, a canola, a vegetable, a grape seed. Those are the sorts of oils you wanna use to season, because you want something that isn't going to burn at very high heat, okay? So you'll take that grapeseed oil and you're gonna coat the whole griddle with a very thin layer. I emphasize very, because if you have a big thick layer of oil, you're like, oh, this will make it better because it's thicker oil, more seasoned. No, no, no. That will create a goopy layer. Goopy, sticky, not good. You want a very, very thin sheen of oil from edge to edge, corner to corner, with the griddle still on. And now you're gonna wait about 20 minutes again. You're gonna come back, do that seasoning again. Wait 20 minutes, do that seasoning one more time. So that is a very thin layer of oil at about 375, 400 degrees. I do that 3 times the first time I use the griddle, and then you're pretty much ready to start cooking, okay? That's how I season, and then as I keep cooking on it, more and more, the better and better it gets. In regards to cleaning, I'm just gonna tell you this now before I start cooking so I don't get distracted again. You don't really clean it, because we wanna build up that oil, so we use something like a metal edge bench scraper, and we scrape any extra food on the surface of the griddle into this little piece down here. I think you guys can see that. This pulls out, so we can rinse this, wash it with soapy water. And then just take a rag and wipe it down if there's any excess oil. That's literally all I do. And I use my griddle at home and here, like every day. But at home, I literally use it almost every single day, okay? So that is how you season and use your griddle. Now we're gonna get cooking, okay? So what we've got here, I am doing crispy smashed potatoes. You're like, wait, it's Thanksgiving. What happened to mashed potatoes? Well, I like smashed potatoes better. I like crispy, browned, caramelized things. So we've got potatoes that we steamed, or you can boil with salty water earlier today. And then I just went ahead, actually I'll show you, and kind of smashed them down. It's really fun. You can just like smash them down, have your grandkids, your kids, or just you do it because it's the most fun. You can smash your potatoes and they kind of break up into uneven chunks. And those uneven chunks are how we're gonna get crispy, craggy, uneven, but delicious surfaces, okay? So that's what we're doing with our potatoes this year for Thanksgiving. Those mashed potatoes lovers out there, hey, I love a good mashed potato too, but if you want to try something new and different, or even better, if you wanna have two kinds of potatoes and be crazy, this is such a fun way to do potatoes, okay? So you can see I've got all those potatoes layered onto my griddle. And like I said earlier, this is the most even heating surface really that we can get from edge to edge. So I just use the whole thing. It's hot, it's sizzling. I think you guys can hear that. It sounds so good. It's my favorite noise in cooking. I'm gonna rinse my hands real fast and step away while you guys enjoy the picture of crisping potatoes. And I'm just gonna let those potatoes sit. I'm not gonna bother them and move them around because I wanna build up a nice golden crust. So I'll toss them in a little bit, but we're just letting them start to brown up. Oh, I do need to add a little bit of salt because obviously. So make sure, potatoes need a lot of salt. I tasted these a little bit earlier just to see how they were seasoned. They need more. Potatoes always, always need more salt, okay? Don't be scared. Also, don't get mad at me if you oversalt your potatoes, I'm sorry. Okay, so that's our griddle. I do also like to mention a couple other fun things to use your griddle for. Showing you this right now, I'm basically already training you on the fact that this is more than a pancake maker, okay? This does more than just make perfect, beautiful pancakes. However, guess what? It really does make really, really good pancakes. I made buttermilk chocolate chunk pancakes on Sunday for me and my husband. And I'm gonna tell you, you'll never get a more golden browned, crispy pancake crust than on this griddle. It's awesome. And you can make 16 at a time. Trust me, I've done it. Okay? So other cool things you can cook on here are smash burgers. Make your smash burgers really nice and crispy and do a bunch on this beautiful surface. Make toast. I love toast on my griddle, like really toasted fried bread. Delicious. Make sandwiches. I've done seared cauliflower steaks. Just sear up the cauliflower so you get, again, that golden brown surface. Whole sides of salmon. Big prime ribs that you can sear off. Truly, this griddle is the most functional and most, it's just the most bestest, okay? I love the griddle. It's gonna be able to give you anything that like a cast iron skillet could do, a pan to sear something your griddle can do. It's just easier to clean. You don't have to pick that heavy thing up out of this cupboard. And it gives you a way bigger, more functional, usable surface, okay? So I'm over here kind of flipping. I am being so selfish because I didn't show you guys this beautiful browning deliciousness already happening. So that's the crust that we're going for. And I'm not taking it too seriously, flipping, but not like making sure every single piece is flipped and it's perfect. The joy and beauty about these crispy smashed potatoes is that they're not perfect. The goal is to get irregularities so it keeps eating interesting. So you got some pieces that are a little more crispy and golden brown and some that are still a little more steamy on the inside. The goal is to make this different. So that's our crispy smashed potatoes. I'm just gonna let these keep going for a while because I want them to get really nice and golden. But do we have any questions on the griddle? Okay, we're rolling right along, people. Good class, smart class. That probably still needs, what time did I put that pie in? Any guesses out there? I feel like it was like 12:15. So we probably have a little, I'm gonna test it. Oh yeah, he needs like 20 more minutes. So we're good. All right, so we've talked griddle, We've talked ovens. We've talked steam oven. Now I can talk burners. All right? So, our burners. First thing I like to mention is every single Wolf burner has 2 different flame ports. Every single one is a dual stacked capability. So technically, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 burners becomes 12 burners. Just kidding, just 12 different flames, okay? So what that means is you've got your high heat. This camera's not gonna get it, huh? Should we? Abby's gonna do something crazy. She's gonna pick you guys up, so buckle in for this little roller coaster adventure, but I wanna show you guys, this is pretty important. Woohoo, we're coming. Okay, so we're looking at this flame right here. I'm gonna turn it on high. Okay, that's high, great, we've all seen it. Yeah, no duh, Alyssa. We've all turned our ovens on before. Turn it down to low. Okay, the flame's still there, it's hard to see on the camera. Now, you're gonna push in on your knob and keep turning to the left. And you will see, do you guys see that lower flame comes up? So we have the higher profile and the lower profile, and now this is our true simmer territory. You might have to just go to your own range or your own stove, your own cooktop, and do this in person because you'll see what I'm talking about, okay? It's hard to see on the camera, but we've got 2. Now I'm gonna turn it back up to the high flame, and you guys can really see that difference, okay? Thank you, Abby. She's gonna take you back, everyone. Hold on. Oh yeah, crispy potatoes. I love it. These are looking so yum. All right, so those are the 2 different flames, and what that means and why that's so important is you've got a ability to truly, truly simmer something. To keep something warm or keep something lightly cooking for hours and hours and hours without over reducing or boiling over or scorching the bottom. All of these things, I'm like slowly picking off some of the few little crispy potato nuggets. Yvonne, should I switch you? Okay, most of them still need longer, but I'm just pulling off the really crispy tiny babies. So I can focus in on the burners again. So like I said, all of those sorts of things. For Thanksgiving, we've got gravy. Nope, not gonna happen, the gravy's gonna spill. That's gravy. Gravy that I actually made yesterday, and we brought it back to a warm temperature, and I have had this gravy on my lowest simmer burner for about 4 hours now. For anyone who's ever done gravy and they've tried to keep it warm, gravy is like the first thing to over reduce so that it becomes a little too thick, and also there's not enough of it to go around because most people at Thanksgiving are reaching for the gravy, gravy. So this will keep it warm without reducing it, and it will also make sure that you don't get any scorching on the bottom. It's just gonna gently keep it warm for as long as you need. And as I keep this simmering, the flavor is just gonna keep getting better and better and better. So that's what I love to keep on my low simmer burner. The other thing that I love is doing my cranberry sauce. And I'll do my cranberry sauce in advance, and then I will do the same thing where I'll just kind of keep it gently warm. Some people love cold cranberry sauce, also fine. I love a slightly warm, like just above room temperature cranberry sauce. It is delicious. And also for those of you out there who think cranberry sauce comes in a can, I promise you there's a better way. I have made some today. I'm not making it in front of you because that'll take too long, but you really just need cranberries, whole cranberries, some sort of sweetener, whether it be honey or sugar or maple syrup, and literally that's all. You can get crazy and have fun with it, or you can keep it that simple, but it will way beat out that canned cranberry sauce stuff, that jiggly jello-y stuff. No thanks. Today we've got one with Fresno chili peppers, shallots, the cranberries, some rosemary kind of just lightly simmered in there so that it's giving the aroma, the essence of rosemary without overpowering it, and then finished it with sherry vinegar. So that's what cranberry sauce we have today. Keep it warm on your stove. Gravy, keeping it warm on that low simmer burner. And that low simmer burner also has a very important function in my world, which is melting chocolate. I love chocolate, dark chocolate, the darker the better. And I love working with chocolate often. On Sunday, I had my family over and I made flourless, no, that was Saturday. Saturday, I made flourless chocolate cake. Sunday, I made ice cream pie with hot fudge, okay? So, I'm sorry, Yvonne. Yvonne's so mad at me. For both of those, I needed to melt chocolate. I don't own a microwave in my house because I just don't like microwaves and I don't use microwaves. To melt my chocolate, usually for those out there who's ever melted chocolate, you have to have a double boiler, which is like a bowl set over a simmering pot of water. And it's just a little bit of a hassle and it's just annoying. With your Wolf ranges, all of you out there with a cooktop, a range, an induction, which I don't think anyone has an induction, but you have the ability to put that chocolate right into this pan, put it on the lowest, smallest burner, turn that thing down all the way to low, and then push in, go even lower. Remember, guys, that simmer function, and then you can melt your chocolate right in the pan. And guess what? It will hold that melted chocolate for hours and hours and hours. Like we've left our chocolate overnight and come back, and that chocolate is still not burned. That chocolate is still just perfectly melted. It's such a gift. Take this gift from us, okay? So that's, again, I just like to emphasize it's the smallest burner. On the range, it's the top left burner on all the ranges and range tops. On the cooktops, there's a couple little burners, the top left, and I think like the middle, bottom front. Those small size burners are your low simmer that you can actually melt chocolate. Only on those lowest burners, okay? So that is, burners pretty much all you need to know. On the ranges, this top left is our highest burner, so that's gonna give you the most power if you're going for something seared. This will give you the most BTUs. And then this top left is our lowest burner. Great for melting chocolate on the lowest simmer or keeping gravy gently warm until it's eating time, okay? So that is really the most things to talk about on our cooktops. Do we have any other questions on cooktops? Ab, we good? Okay, I think we're good. Our turkey is close to heaven. I'm gonna double check our pie again. I just gotta keep making sure that this guy is gently cooking away. I can see it starting to set. Definitely, it might not be done by the time this class is done, and I apologize to all of you. You can come in and get a slice later. Totally fine, okay? All right, so now I am going to talk briefly about cleaning this griddle because Yvonne just finished getting all those crispies off, okay? So I do want to show this again. I kind of showed you earlier, but now we've got a bunch of little crispy potato pieces on here, and I'm just taking this. Oh yeah, you can totally see that. Metal edges while it's still warm. You need to do this while it's still warm. You don't have to have it blazing hot like we have right now, but I want to show you. But if it's still warm, things will release more easily from the griddle and they won't cool and settle in. So you scrape off all the way down to the edge. And that is it, okay? This, oh, there's nothing, literally nothing stuck, but I will rub this down with a cloth when it's cooled a bit more. And that's literally all I have to do, you guys. It's perfect. It's good to go. Ready for tomorrow. Ready for its adventures tomorrow, okay? And then this, when it's cooled down, we will pop out and just rinse with some warm soapy water. That's the griddle. It's amazing, okay? Important thing to show you. All right, so now that we've talked cleaning griddle, I'm gonna talk about all of the cleaning aspects. We're gonna briefly run through those, unless we have, oh, I can smell the Brussels. Oh, hold on, people. Crispy Brussels sprouts. I am just thrilled. Oh my goodness. Look at these crispy, oh, I lost a few leaves. Crispy, can you hear that? Crispy leaves. It's like frying Brussels sprouts, but without actually having to fry them. So much healthier, but they're just delicious. With Brussels sprouts, people, the browner the better. Almost burned is better. Brussels sprouts like to be really, really dark, okay? Yum. So that, and I'll pull out the other one so you guys can see they both cooked evenly at the same time. You guys saw I never rotated these, but now you guys can see. The lighting is just like not quite, it's better in person, but they're gorgeous, they're browned, they're beautiful, and they're even. All right, so I'm gonna set those aside. Again, Yvonne, who is like my magical wizard, she's going to finish these up so you guys can see how you can have them for Thanksgiving. You don't want just plain crispy Brussels sprouts. You want fancy agrodolce with some ricotta and pine nuts Brussels sprouts. That's what we're going for. All right, so Brussels came out. We're golden. The turkey is 4 degrees from completion. So we're about to pull that out, but I want to talk cleaning, okay? So what I have here is just a couple things that we use here in the showroom for cleaning, okay? We've got, in terms of, I'm gonna talk ovens, kind of the same pattern we did earlier. I'm gonna talk ovens, and then I'll talk steam oven. Wait, I talked steam oven first. Steam oven, ovens, and then ranges in regards to cleaning, okay? So, steam ovens. It is a steam oven, and it is a stainless steel interior. All of that is stainless steel. What that equates to is the easiest cleaning situation. If you have anything stuck in there, most things you just run an empty oven with the steam on for 20 minutes, and that'll loosen any bits off the sides. A little more sticky stuff, try some water and vinegar. Wipe it off with a microfiber cloth. You can like see there was like light from the stainless steel on me, weird. Sorry, distracted. So, stainless steel cleans off very easily. If you have done your turkey, as you should, in your steam oven, like we've done here, and you're about to see, you're gonna get serious grease splatter. And don't be scared, that's fine. So it's actually going to look dirty, which steam oven usually just is easy. You'll wipe it out. Once there's water in the bottom, wipe it out, you're done. When you've done something like a crispy roasted turkey or roasted chicken or bacon, just something that's higher heat. Oh, there, yeah, look. Does everyone see this weird thing, light on me? Oh, it's this. Okay, I'm gonna move that. But that's when you're gonna need a full-on cleaning with your steam oven. Because it's stainless steel, you can use Easy Off. We use Easy Off fume-free, and this will literally just clean your oven out so easily, you'll be amazed, okay? So we pull out all of the side racks, which come out super easy. This is still a little warm, but you just twist the knobs on the side. There's 2 knobs right at the front, lefty-loosey, and that will pull out the side racks. So pull out the middle racks, pull out the side racks, put them in a big baggie, spray that with Easy Off, close up the bag, then spray the oven with Easy Off, close up the oven, wait at minimum 4 hours, and we like to truly just wait like overnight, because when you come back, all of that gunk will just wipe right off. It's incredible and so satisfying. I just heard my turkey. Hold, okay? So I'm gonna pull this out. We're gonna have a moment here. We are, right now, people, gonna have a moment. This is the moment of Thanksgiving, okay? Steam oven, turkey. Okay, I got it. Now, the only hard part here, and it's fine, I'm not gonna lie, this is a little tricky, okay? Got a big old turkey. You wanna pull him out. I'm gonna put it down because I wanna show them how we can do this. Okay, so I like to just rest it on the door, and then you can pull the probe out, and now we're good to go. We've been released. Look at this little piece of sunshine. I'm telling you guys, crispy, golden brown skin. It smells like turkey fat and herbs, which is a really good thing, okay? Oh my goodness, he's beautiful. I'm gonna set him right here because unfortunately now we all have to wait an hour before slicing into this gorgeous baby. But look at that. I've got a bunch of turkey juices in the bottom of this pan that I'm gonna add to my gravy and just enrich it, and it's gonna be even better, okay? So that was our turkey moment. Now back to cleaning, okay? So turkey's out. This oven is gonna need a serious cleaning. Easy Off, close it up, wipe it off the next day, and then you're gonna want to run 1 steam cycle. And by steam cycle, I mean, once you've wiped out the Easy Off, it's clean, it's done, close it back up while it's empty and run steam for like 15 minutes. And that steam is just gonna kind of clean out the rest of those Easy Off fumes, and then wipe it out and you're good to go. Okay, that's how we clean our steam oven. So that steam oven, oh, the probes, this is important. You do not want to put this in the dishwasher. The probe, just wash it again with some warm soapy water, wash it by hand, very easy. But if this goes in the dishwasher, you might ruin it and then it won't be accurate anymore, okay? So next, now we can talk about below our regular ovens, dual fuel, those ovens with the beautiful electric blue interior. It's like so cool. Electric blue, it's cobalt blue, my bad. Cobalt blue interior, okay? So those ovens, you do not use easy off. This, slightly harsh chemicals, let's just be honest here, not safe for that beautiful enameled blue interior. This is fine for stainless steel. Stainless steel can handle pretty much anything you throw at it, not the enamel. For those, what we recommend is, hopefully most of the time you can use water and vinegar, but in your oven, that's just not super realistic. When you do want to clean it, we use Barkeeper's Friend. So this is the liquid form. We use this, not the powder, because the powder can be a little too abrasive. So we'll use the liquid form of Barkeeper's Friend, and we will use like a non-scratch pad to really just like wipe and scrub everything off, okay? If you have sugars that have burned onto the bottom of the oven, you can actually use a razor blade to kind of just like chip those off, those burnt on sugars, which is really neat. I've done it a couple times because before, if you start cooking, if you don't cook a lot of pies, you just put the pie on the rack and bake it, you're gonna get overflow. It takes a little bit of experience to put the pie on a sheet pan in the oven, and then you will have no overflow. It's great, okay? With these ovens, you cannot, you're like, oh yeah, protect the bottom of the oven. Do not even think about putting tin foil on that bottom rack, because you will destroy your oven. If you put foil onto the surface, it's stressing me out. We're gonna move the turkey. Hold on, people. You good? Slide him. Okay. If you put tin foil onto the bottom of that oven, the cavity, you will ruin your oven. And you turn it on, it will fuse to the bottom of your oven, and there is no saving that. And there is no warranty covering that problem. Okay. If you want to protect your oven, use a sheet pan, put it on a rack. Do not ever put anything on the bottom of that oven. That's the most important thing, okay? Now, that's kind of like, in terms of most cleaning, with the racks inside this oven, do the same thing we do with our steam oven, where you pull them out, stick them in a garbage bag, spray the easy off over the racks only, and then everything will wipe off again. If you want to do a cleaning cycle, like your ovens, your electric ovens do have the ability to do a self-cleaning. For those who don't know out there what that is, it literally just means your oven's going to turn itself on to like 1,000 degrees and burn everything off, everything on the inside off. So you want to make sure that if you do that cleaning cycle, you have a naked oven. Pull out every single rack, side racks, middle racks, everything, the clean cycle. And you can, they've all been tested. They're safe to do the clean cycle up to 5 times a year. You don't want to do more than that, because that's an aggressive heat. Your ovens don't want to that much heat that often, okay? That pretty much covers cleaning these guys. The outsides, we pretty much just use water and vinegar, like I've told you, in a microfiber cloth. And now onto our range tops, cooktops, we use, surprise, surprise, water and vinegar and a cloth. And everything just really is easy to wipe up and wipe off. We don't really use any aggressive cleaners on the cooktops, but if you have something really spilled and stained and stuck on, we would recommend Barkeeper's Friend. This and water and vinegar are our safest go-tos. The racks, you can just clean with warm soapy water if you have a nice big sink, or if you don't, just use a cloth that's kind of warm and soapy and you can wipe them off. That pretty much covers that, very easy. The last thing I like to talk about on cleaning is our ranges. Oh, you can't even see what I'm pointing at. This is a range, a hood. This is so cool. If you have the Wolf hoods, the Pro baffles, these will pop right out. And I know you can't really see. Oh, can you tilt it up? Oh, cool. Okay, we're gonna show you. Yes, look at this. Okay, these are the baffles. You can pull these right out, okay? So they have little handles, and I just push up. They're on like little springs kind of, and you pull it out. This you stick right in your dishwasher. Yeah, your dishwasher. Wash them right off. And then when you're done and it's dried, come back, pops right back in. Like, so easy to clean. We love these guys, okay? Now, I feel like I've covered pretty much the main items of cleaning. Have you seen any questions, Ab? Is everyone good? Okay. I'm not really going to get into the sub-zeros unless we have people wanting to get into the sub-zeros. It's pretty straightforward. We wipe those down as well with water and vinegar. You replace the water filter when it tells you, and you can replace the air filter when it tells you. I'll actually just show them here, since we have the camera here. To replace the water filter, it's right here. And this little guy just twists right out, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, and then stick the other one in. There you go. The air filter is right here. This lifts up. You pop this little, it's hard to see because our angle, we're not going to get it, but this little black thing pops out. Air filter cartridge looks like this. And then you stick it back in the same way, okay? You can get both the air purification and the water filters here in our showroom, actually, or you can get them online. But that's how easy your sub-zeros to take care of. I think, everyone, we've covered all the important pieces of information. Ab, I'm going to ask you one more time. Sorry to be annoying, but do we have any questions? Yes, unmute them. Let's unmute them. Guys, this pie is like so close that I'm just going to pull it out because I'm too excited about it. And it looks and smells so yum. Can you guys see that beautiful? It's the like juxtaposition of the orange with the black crust. Okay, I'm trying to show, actually, this is kind of important. Abby, help me out here. Closing the oven with my foot. I want, where's the best place? I got to show you guys that jiggle that I was talking about. This is pretty important. Right here. Nope, nope, nope. Yes, right there. Okay. This is the jiggle. Do you see that shake? That's the kind of jiggle you want to know your pie is done. I know that looks funny, but that's important. You want it jiggling, but not like wobbling. That right there, you guys, is the perfect spot to pull your pie out. And then we're gonna let this cool at room temperature. It'll probably take about 2 hours, and that sets the pie. And then, oh, I'm putting it here, hold. And then, I'm sorry you guys won't be here to see this because it's gonna take 2 hours to cool that pie, but we're going to cover it with a little layer of sugar. Yes, and then brulee it like a creme brulee. Straight up brulee that sugar. It's such a fun pumpkin pie. I really wish you guys were here to eat it. We really want you guys to come into the showroom when all of this distancing, virtual is over. We'd love to have you come back to our class and actually eat the yummy food. Okay, any more questions? We're good. We have one, well, surprise, it's kind of cool. We're gonna show you your full Thanksgiving meal. So everyone, Abby's gonna pick up the camera. So if you get motion sick, just close your eyes, but this is pretty fun, okay? This is our full Thanksgiving meal. Look at that pizza. Let's see, we've got the camera. Yep, yes, she's got it. Our turkey. Oh, this will be for the gravy when I get that in. Whoops. We've got beautiful rolls. These were actually cooked in our steam oven. You can see our cranberry sauce. Look at that pumpkin pie now. Oh, I love him. Nice. Our crispy smashed potatoes. They have this, like I told you, we've got bacon, chives, and this beautiful sour cream hot sauce mixture. And our Brussels sprouts at the end. Can we see those? I mean, guys, this is Thanksgiving. This is how you should do your Thanksgiving. Oh yeah, Yvonne, worth it. Look at those Brussels sprouts. So that is our Thanksgiving. We're so glad you guys joined us today. We seriously wish you guys could be here with us. If you live close, come pop in and please grab a slice of turkey because we have so much food. Me and Abby and Yvonne I was going to say we're not going to be able to eat it all, but unfortunately, if you don't come and get some food, we will eat it all. Bummer. So that's our Thanksgiving class, you guys. We hope you guys have great holidays. Don't ever be afraid to call us or email us with any questions or concerns. And remember, as I point at them, they're probably like, this girl's crazy. We're going to be sending out to you guys a packet with the recipes, with information about your appliances, with a link to that steam oven Zoom class that's on our YouTube. I don't know if there's anything else, but you'll see, you'll get the cleaning information. All of that will be in this email that we'll send out to you guys today. So if you don't see the email today, let us know, and then we'll resend it. But we hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Great Thanksgiving.